So welcome back to our first-person platformer project. So where we left off, we made the platforms move using the timeline editor. As you can see, under the moving platform, these ones move, if you remember. And they return back to the starting position at the end. And they replay. So on the next one, we're going to work on the win area. So the next part that we need to focus on is this win level right here. So this is the end platform. So what we're going to need to do is go into the end platform script, the platform trigger script that we have here, and change it up. Okay, so now we're in the script. There's going to be a few things we need to add. So first, what we're going to need is we need to reference the player. So this is going to be a public game object, and we'll just call it player. So this player object is what we're going to use to get the variables and scripts attached to this object. So we'll go ahead and head back into the editor, and it already applied it for me because I had already run through this. But what it would do for you is you just need to drag and drop this first-person character into this file, or into this game object location, the entire prefab of it. Next up, we are going to need to reference a public game object. This one will be the timer text, and we'll need another one. Have the public game object win screen. So these two will be on there. Next up, we'll also need a reference the public TMP text. Since text is not supported anymore in Unity, it's all Text Mesh Pro, so it'll be TMP underscore text. So now we have all of our variables. We'll need to go in and assign the ones we made in the last video. So we have under the canvas, the where'd it go? Where'd it go? The win screen we made right here. The timer text for the top timer up here, and then the new text, which is also under the panel for the win screen. So once we applied all those, dug them into their corresponding locations, then we are going to need, we can just go ahead and make this an update function. A private void is fine, we don't have to worry about that. Oops, phone's ringing. Worry about that in a minute. Next is we need to get this variable, is player inside zone. So we can just copy and paste that. We're going to make this an if statement, and this is a bool. Right again. This is a public bool. So this bool is to check if the player is inside the zone. So if you put it in a function like this, you don't have to do equal to true or false. For a bool, you could just say if is player inside zone. This makes it automatically true. And for a negative, if it's not true, you could put a exclamation point in front of it. So if it's true, the next thing we're going to need to do is under the player script, there are 4 scripts associated with it. The look script, the move script, the jump script, and the crouch script. So when the player gets here to the win zone, we don't want them to keep moving around. We don't want them to keep jumping back and forth and start the timer off and on again. So what we need to do is we need to disable these when the player reaches the win zone. So to do this, we can reference the game object, which we have as player, public game object player. And to get the component or script, we can use get component from the it'll get the component from the game object it's attached to. So what we're gonna need is the look variable first, the look script. And to disable this, we have to do the parentheses at the end of get component always. And then we can use dot enabled equals false. Then we need to do the same for all of the rest. It'll be move is next. And then it'll be jump. And it'll be crouch. So now once we hit the zone, it'll disable all 4 of the player's movement functions. So the player can no longer move once he reaches the zone. Next, what we need to do is set the windscreen that we set up here. Need to set it as active. So to do that, we do .set active, and in parentheses we put true, which is the variable, or false if we want to disable it. Then we want to change the text on the screen. So we'll do text, which is the name of our text object. Text.text equal, let's see, what did I put in here? This is what I set it to. So this is the first part of it. Congrats, you completed the game in, and then it's taking a variable right here, the plus, and it's taking from the timer script the time that it took to complete the game. And we do it with the cash sign and then in parentheses and the hashtag as the formatting and location of how we want it to read off. And then you complete the game in, we'll say 17 seconds. And the formatting is always different for each thing, but this works perfect for our instance. It grabs a variable from another script where it's saved, and then it puts it in the correct format. And then the last thing we need to do is set the timer text on the top. Oops, set active false. And that's the last thing we need to do. Then we can head back into Unity, and we can play through our game. Once we hit off of this main platform, that's when the timer is going to start again. So, oops, I forgot to continue moving. We have to hold shift to get the run bonus. Hold shift, move to this platform. See the timer is counting. Wait on this one so we don't lose. And there we are. So the time is stopped. I'm pushing WASD, crouch, everything is not working. So it disabled all the players' movement. Here, all the scripts are disabled. Congrats, you completed the game in 15.36 seconds. See the formatting in the parentheses is correct. So now in the next one, we'll work on objectives and power-ups and multiple levels.